has ended the temporary protection status for Somalis in the United States. We're taking a look here at a social media post courtesy of Fox News and Fox News Digital saying this. The Trump administration is ending temporary protection status for Somalia, affecting several thousand Somalis currently living in the U.S. and several hundred currently living in Minnesota under the protection. Somali migrants with TPS will be required to leave the country by March 17th. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem told Fox News Digital in a statement, quote, "Temporary means temporary. Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that it no longer meets the law's requirement for temporary protected status." That statement went on to say, quote, "Further, allowing Somali nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is currently and contrary to our national interests. We are putting Americans first." Bringing us out to a live image that we have of the White House over in Washington, D.C. as I continue to cite some more of this report. 2,471 Somali nationals currently in the U.S. under TPS, with just over 1,300 in the country with pending TPS applications. The move comes as DHS continues ICE operations in Minneapolis, Minnesota, after a widespread, roughly $9 billion fraud scheme involving members of the Somali community plagued the state. Fox News Digital learned that an estimated 600 Somali nationals who are protected by TPS live in Minnesota. Now, Somalia was granted temporary protection status in 1991 as a result of an ongoing civil war in the African nation. Former President Biden, most recently extended the protection in September of 2024. Now, the decision to end TPS for Somalia also comes a day after Minneapolis, the Twin Cities there, Minneapolis and St. Paul, sued the Trump administration after a historic federal immigration enforcement operation was launched by ICE and DHS.
Listen. Why can't we agree on anything? Why can't we agree on anything? People hate Trump so much that they will disagree with their own talking points to try to go against him. You know what I used to hear all during Obama's term, all the way up until Trump wound up becoming president of the United States of America, the first term? Do you know what I used to hear during Biden's term? Why?
From being among the most vocal defenders of the immigrant online, to now stepping backward and letting fate take its course. This is the situation of the Black Americans now, and here is why.
A lot of foreigners are too loosey-goose at the mouth and really don't understand how this country works. Like, you can't go around saying stuff like, I'm gonna take over, this is my country, this is my land, I'm gonna take over, we gonna take over, you can't say that here. You can't say that here. Like this, like in Dearborn, where they're talking about death to America, or, you know, people talking about taking over, and anytime you use these types of words, you asking for trouble. You asking for a target on your back, okay? These people obviously have not learned American history, okay? Black folks in America, we're never even talking about taking over anything. We just wanted our fair share. We just wanted to be left the fuck alone, right?
The shocking part of it is not about the policy. It wasn't even about the decision. It was the reaction, and more importantly, why the reaction happened. Let's continue with the clip.
Somalis may have to go back to Somalia. President Trump has proposed to end TPS status for Somalis. Most Somali immigrants in America are here on a temporary protective status. Basically, their home country, Somalia, is unsafe, so they're here on a work authorization. However, if that's to be ended, things can happen for the Somali community. First, the loss of legal status. Secondly, they're not able to work in the United States. And then most importantly, the risk of deportation. There's a huge Somali community in the Minnesota-St. Paul area. And of course, if the TPS status has ended, it will affect their community tremendously. What do y'all think?
So some Black Americans have pointed repeated online crashes. We have a lot of criticism against them and attacks directed at them. even while they were advocating for others. So over time, this has created frustration, hence stepping backward. They do not want to be involved in anything.
Listen, I'm urging all black people, don't go marching out there in Minneapolis. Don't anywhere where they're doing the ICE raids. I'm urging black people to please do not put your body on the line for this fight. 2 people have already been killed and they both were white, right? So just look at that and understand that if you decide to go out there, they're going to have no problem chipping you off too. Okay. And I'm just going to remind you that this isn't our fight. No matter how many videos that are on this app of black people telling other black people that this somehow is inherently our fight, do not believe them. They will make you crash out. I'm one of the few people that have been telling people from the start, do not put your body on the line. Do not put your future on the line, okay? Do not risk whatever you have ahead of you for this issue. It is not worth it. This is a serious issue out here, and I would hate, all the Democrats need, all the left needs is for a black person to die out there. That is all they need, is for one of us to get deleted by one of those ICE officers. That's all they need. I'm telling you right now, that is what they're looking for. Okay, that's why they keep sending people out here like the fake Black Panther guy to cause chaos, rile us up so that we can jump out there and put our bodies on the line. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a grave mistake. And I wouldn't do it. I've been saying this shit from the start. They're not worried about us. They're not coming for us. We are not going to be next. I know that rhetoric has been flying around since this has started. They keep saying that, oh, you guys are going to be next. I doubt it, but the writing's on the wall. 2 people have died already. And I promise you, all the left needs is for one of us to get chipped out there. I'm telling you. Don't do it, man. Don't risk your family, your future, your career. Don't do it.
It is very important to say clearly that all of this is not about celebrating loss. It is not about blaming an entire community. It's about setting boundaries, which many Black Americans are saying we can't keep carrying every fight, especially when we are being attacked in the process. So these are the words of many Black Americans.
I think that they should continue to say everything that they want to say when they want to say it. That's number one, because we need to know what's going on. And so when I see Somalis in Minneapolis and people across the United States of America feeling confident, I mean, even back in 2004 or 2024 during the election, we've seen a lot of people that weren't from here that was talking big stuff. And then all of a sudden they have a whole lot to say afterwards, because them and they people, as they were illegal migrants, was being deported back to the place that they came from. The other side of it that I don't agree with is she's trying to equate what happened on Black Wall Street or Tulsa and all of these other places to what is going on with illegal migrants or people that came over here on temporary protective status or asylum seekers and then became dependent on welfare and used it, while at the same time fraud is being perpetuated across the United States of America and money being sent back to where they came from. It's not the same. It's the difference between the transatlantic slave trade, where people didn't ask to be here, and birthright citizenship being granted to them, versus birthright citizenship being granted to people that came over here illegally and had a child and thought that they were supposed to get the same rights. One of the things that I hate, right, and you know me, I'm not on a Democratic plantation, nor do I advocate for people just based off of the color of their skin. But one thing that I absolutely despise is when Black people try to equate our situation, as far as the history of Black people in this country, to people that are foreign to the country that came over here voluntarily. It's not the same. It's not. You can never compare it. It will never be the same. And it's not something that we can go back and forth about. It's not the same.
You come here, and especially before you open your mouth and start talking shit.
So instead of rushing to defend or even explain, many Black Americans chose silence, sarcasm, or simply stepping aside, not because they wanted them to be harmed, but because they no longer wanted responsibility. So that choice alone shocked many immigrants, including the Somali community, who expected vocal support this time around.
The Trump administration has ended temporary protection status for Somalians. Now, this comes during the time that they are constantly saying that there's some type of Somalian fraud, like fraud has some type of race or ethnicity attached to it. Like, we didn't know Donald Trump just released it. Multiple people committed a fraud, and he did it in such a way where they would not even have to pay back their restitution to their victims. Now, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem said that conditions in Somalia had improved enough to end TPS. Now, she's saying this even though they're still fighting in Somalia. This is what Kristi Noem said verbatim. Country conditions in Somalia have improved to the point that they no longer meets the law requirement for temporary protected status. Further allowing Somalian nationals to remain temporarily in the United States is contrary to our national interests. We're putting Americans first. Now, they're saying this while they're ushering in white Afrikaners, people that they say are good for our national security interests, I'm assuming. I don't know why, considering we already got the richest South African ever constantly flooding our social media spaces with nothing but a bunch of racist, bigoted thoughts. But y'all tell me what y'all think about all this in the comments. Remember, check out my links to my bio, follow me for more, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Somalis gathered in Minneapolis today to publicly voice their opposition. Fox 9's Leon Purvis joining us tonight from Minneapolis. And Leon, what are they saying about the president's proposal?
Well, Kelsey, many people gathered at Carmel Mall, the heart of the Somali community, to support one another.
Manta, 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 Omali waiting, manta, 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 Omali waiting, manta.
Carmel Mall was packed on the fourth floor with people from the Somali community and people coming out in support. On Friday, President Trump said that he would immediately terminate temporary deportation protections from Somalis living in Minnesota, blaming them for fraud in Minnesota.
We're not here by accident, we're here to stay forever.
There are currently 500 Somalis in Minnesota living with these protections and a total of 700 nationwide. Many expect this to be challenged in court, but in the meantime, Somalis here say they are fearful of what's to come.
People are always going to be fearful, but we're telling our people we're greater than fear. We have resilience. We're people that are brave.
When temporary status is revoked, federal law states it can't take effect earlier than 60 days after publication of that notice, and it has to come from the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem.
What the president is doing is un-American. It's not Minnesotan.
The Protected Status Program for Somalis was launched in 1991 by President George H.W. Bush. It grants protections to eligible people who can't return to their homeland safely due to civil war or natural disasters.
What we decided to do is to bring our community in the heart of in the Somali community here in Minnesota, which is Carmel Mall, to show that, you know, our neighbors are with us, Minnesotans are with us, and we're all together in this fight.
There's no word yet on if or when the removal of temporary status will take place, but experts say if someone is under temporary protected status from Somalia, to check with them on legal counsel to see what their options are.
This reaction isn't built overnight. Even from a personal view, if you have been fighting for someone and then they turn against you in the process, you will eventually stop fighting for them. You will step back and watch what fates hold for that person. So this came from years of online conflict and expectations, and also growing fatigue. Whether people agree or disagree, one thing is clear: this moment revealed shift. Not excitement, not celebration, but disengagement. And that may be the most uncomfortable reaction of all. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you like the video, and you comment. Give your views in the comment section, and please make it respectful. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.